All praises, glory, and honor is due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakudash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and teachers of Great Millstone and the like-minded men who may not be directly part of Great Millstone, but are pushing the same 144% truth, the same doctrine, which is from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Salutations to the elect Akim Nakwath, men and women of the Bayafta Wadah, that's men, women, and also like your children of the house of David, who are predestined to be saved in these last days, and we are in these last days. So I'm just gonna go. So I was looking for a topic. So I watched Elder Malcolm's video, and I'm gonna put in as well. Put them in the description box and GMS Watchman's video. So I went through a few articles in Zero Edge. And by the will of Yahweh it came up because I had in my mind never trust thine enemy is a base topic, yeah. And then an article just came up, so what a Yahweh so I'm going to start with this scripture. It's quick impromptu, to be fair, because I'm at the plantation, so it's just going to be a quick lesson, a few scriptures, and Lord's will end it off there and it'll be edifying, yeah. Surely oppression maketh, that's Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and the gift destroyeth the heart. Yeah. You see, you'll understand why I went into this scripture first. Let's look at the word gift. Yeah.
Strong's H 4979. Matana.
Yeah. Matana. Feminine of H4976, a present, specifically in a good sense, a sacrificial offering, in a bad sense, a bribe. And this is what we took going into. Let's go to etymology of it first. Gift, offerings, presents, gift to give a reward, yeah? The reason why I brought this scripture out first is because of this. When I first came into this, when I first heard the truth from the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, they're always talking about universal basic income as part of the infrastructure of the MOTB, part of the infrastructure of what we now know as the Fourth Industrial Revolution, the New World Order, yeah? Yeah, so what did Klaus Schwab say? You will own nothing and you will love it or enjoy it or something like that. And this is part of it, yeah? So universal basic income. IMF calls for government to subsidize food and energy. And this is part of the gift, yeah, to lull you into a sense of reliance on the government, yeah. So let's go into the article, right? Inflationary and stagflationary crisis events open up a lot of doors and create a lot of convenient opportunities for globalists obsessed with the ideology of total centralization. You see, they should make their own tongues to fall upon themselves. So even Edomites are seeing it, like in this article here. You see what the true purposes of this suggestion of UBI, Universal Basic Income. A key aspect of the shared economy agenda put forward by the WEF, World Economic Forum, is the concept of UBI, Universal Basic Income. If the government becomes the primary pillar of the economy and the primary source of necessities for a large portion of the population, then this makes public defiance of government mandates much less likely. You see, never trust thine enemy. We'll get that scripture. When the government becomes our nursemaid, how many people will be willing to bite the hand that feeds them? You look at this image here. Universal basic income sign up here. No work, free stuff. You see, it's basically to give the people a false sense of security. Right, to make them totally reliant on the government, as the apostles have said for decades. Yeah, as part of I mean, they're doing it in Iran as well with the digital certificate thing. And we know what it's going to lead to. Revelation 13, 16 to 18, which is the MOTB, which is the charagma. That's what it's going to lead to. Yeah. UBI gives political elites incredible power in exchange for nothing more than currency, paper, or digital. There we are, created from thin air. This is why it is concerning that so many global organizations have become aggressively vocal about government subsidies of necessities the past couple of years. International Monetary Fund (IMF) head Kristalina Georgieva recently made statements calling for governments to be more active in subsidizing food and energy costs to their citizens in the wake of the inflationary crisis. Such subsidies would be, of course, be the beginning stage of an inevitable push towards UBI. So I'm going to quickly get these scriptures now. So it's all lined up still. Trying to do it this way. So this is part of the secret council's name or something. So I'm just going to stick to these scriptures, yeah. We'll go to Proverbs 25 and 19. Confidence in an unfaithful man in time of trouble is like a broken tooth and a foot out of joint. Yeah, don't relax. Basically, let me put Proverbs 25 and 19. Proverbs 25. Translation comparison. Yeah. Basically saying don't trust him. Putting confidence, says NLT. Putting confidence in an unreliable person in times of trouble is like chewing with a broken tooth or walking on a lame foot. As simple as that. It's an NLT translation, right? Don't trust Esau, Edom, and these elites, whether they're from Ishmael, Edom, but Esau is the head, as we know. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. You know what? That's Job 9 and 24. You know who are the wicked? Malachi 1 through to chapter 4 clearly explains it, yeah? Esau, Edom. Psalms 83 gives a list of our enemies. Esau's mentioned twice through Amalek and Edom, yeah? Right? We've got enemies, people. We've got enemies. Right? They're not our friends. They're the average Joe Blow Edomite that you see on the street. They don't know what's going on, but they still hate you, you know. At the end of the day, they're behind your back at work, they talk about you, blah, 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 blah. Yeah? Ezekiel 35 and 5. They have a perpetual hatred towards us, yeah? You've got to remember that as Israelites, be it from the respective tribes. You know, whether it's the northern kingdom or the southern kingdom, right? Yeah, from Judah on down to Issachar. We have enemies. We need to realize this. Don't trust them. Don't believe it, you know. Just let the scriptures speak. Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord Yahweh, by Hashem Yahshai, that take counsel but not of me, and that cover with a covering but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin, that walk to go down into Egypt, and Egypt is the house of bondage, and yes, we are in bondage. Yeah, spiritual Egypt. Revelation 11 and 8. Yeah, we're in spiritual Egypt, which is the house of bondage. Exodus 20. Yeah, I think it's 1 or 2, verse 1 or 2, 3. So like, Egypt is the house of bondage, and we are still in bondage. Yeah, there's plenty of the scriptures on proving that too. And have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Egypt, yeah. So if you trust them, don't trust them. It's trust in Yahweh by Shem Yahshai. This is where we need to be. This is where we need to be. These days of like believing the so-called white man and all these Edomites and these so-called leaders, yeah. It's like Proverbs 25 and 19 says. Yeah, trusting in a man is trusting in a man with a lame foot and a broken tooth, eating with a broken tooth. It's stupid. Yeah, don't do it. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. Alright? Don't trust the enemy. Yeah. You know, we're gonna Apostle Ramlab, they went into Hard Times video the other day. It's gonna be hard, but all we've got in this world right now, in this is Yahweh Hashem Yahshai. It's as simple as that. You know, with in the spirit of the truth. Yeah, given to us by Yahweh Hashem Yahshai. And all we can do is pray for that patience and pray for that faith and pray for strength in those days. Because we know these hard times are coming. Yeah? Because Esau's going to show his true colours. Really is going to show his true colours. Finish it off with these scriptures, yeah? So, Ecclesiasticus, which is also known as the Book of Sirach, chapter 12 and 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not altogether been wiped away. Remind me of something in Isaiah 10. Set him not by thee. This is Ecclesiasticus 12 and 12. So like if I was going to go to a different scripture, but I'll continue with this. Set him not by thee, lest when he have overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beasts? So one that goeth to a sinner and is defiled with him in his sins, who will pity? For a while he will abide with thee, but if thou begin to fall, he will not tarry. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, UBI, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit, a trap, a snare, yeah, into a low place, a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. I'm just going to continue, yeah. If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first, and though we pretend to help thee, yet he will undermine thee. And this is the point of the UBI, to get people to trust in him, to rely on him. The article went straight into it, yeah, to rely on them, and then eventually bring out the MOTB, which will be a control mechanism to enable them to have full control over the people. And then if you a dissenter or are a dissenter, or if you question them in any way or go against any of their policies, yeah, that reminds me of Daniel chapter, yeah, for his policies, Lord's will I might get that, any of his policies, then he'll turn it off, and that's what's going to happen. Yeah, just don't trust them. Don't trust them. Yeah. Yahweh has given this warning, given us sufficient warning to not trust. He will shake his head and clap his hands and whisper much and change his countenance, and that's what he will do. Yeah. So if you want to quickly Ecclesiastes here, this is a good one too, Ecclesiastes 13 and 4. But I'm going to go to Daniel. And through his policy, Daniel 8 and 25, and through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall might himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand. And that's what's going to happen. Yahweh is going to return on Yahweh, and that's it. It's done. Esau's done. Yeah, Esau's done. Alright, so he's going to try and achieve his goals, but he's got that bounds that he cannot pass. Job 14 and 5, Job 5 and 12 to 13, Job 20 and 23. Read those scriptures. Esau is finished. He thinks the more he comes out with all these ideas, and I've seen all these control mechanisms and all these ideas, it's closer to his end. He's already lost, as the apostles have said. So, Lord's will, with that, Lord's will, you find it edifying. So I'm going to put this article in the description box, Lord's willing, and also Elder Malcolm's video and GMS Watchman video. With that, say shalom, shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel, shalom, to the hopeful elect.